At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Krueger. You're watching Coffee with Krueger on this Monday, February 3rd. Well, you can see the rain that we're seeing out there, even some snow. Very interesting when we look at this here. Number one, it's starting off fairly dry. You see how things are kind of shifting more northward, but eventually that'll all push to the south and east, and everyone getting in on the rainfall. But look at the snow up to the north, northern Trinity County, in particular, Siskiyou, right? There's some colder air that's made its way southward, but not for everyone. And when we look at the road conditions, you'll see it's very interesting because we've got snow in the Wairika area, but not Mount Shasta. Ski Park having a hard time as well, at least it was yesterday. But this is all going to be shifting down to the south and east. But once again, you can kind of look at that right now, and you can see we also see all those green boxes. Those are flood advisories, flood warnings. So we've got a lot to talk about, a lot to unpack here in this morning's forecast, because we've got the rain, we've got the snow. The rain is producing flooding. The snow is producing chain requirements, right? We've also got very gusty winds out there as well. All right, so let's take a look at how much rain we've seen in the last 3 days. Look at the Reading Airport. Almost 7 inches of rain in the last 3 days. But here's what's interesting. You know how typically we talk about how the coast is always sees more rain than everybody else? Not the case this time. Crescent City, 1.6, Trinidad, 2.62 inches in Eureka. Good amounts, right? But certainly not nearly as much as we've seen down to the south and east. Now, you can also see a little bit of shadowing down to the south, Corning, and clearly see where that main atmospheric river moisture has pointed. See the greens, the yellows, the darker greens? That's where we're seeing that subtropical moisture moving on in, that fire hose that you hear about aimed at Northern California. That's where it was. You can clearly see where that is. I mean, even El Turris, look at that, over 3 inches of rain. That's uncommon for us to see that much rainfall during any event, really. But, of course, when you have that constant stream of moisture coming in, that can make all of the difference in the world. Now, this is an image that came in from Tim Moore. This is flooding in Ingot. Also mentioned there were a few mudslides and debris flows. This is, of course, one of many areas in Northern California that had seen some street flooding. I was in my area, just at the bottom of my hill, did see some street flooding. And it's just one of those situations. Now, Tim is the only person that sent me flooding images. I want you to send me yours. Share your photos from the free Weather NorCal app. I want to see the flooding photos in Reading, in Red Bluff, wherever you may have flooding, the rivers, the creeks, the streams. I want to see them all, because then we can share them with everybody and everyone can get a good idea what it looks like out there, including me. I can get a better idea. Of course, I understand that there's flooding out there, but to see images of it, that makes all of the difference in the world. All right, good morning to you all. So glad you could join us this morning. Got Kimberly checking in saying good morning just a couple of minutes ago. Hope you're having a good start to your week. And, if a lot of people have been asking for the rain. Ask and you shall receive, right? We got the rain over the weekend. It started on Friday and, of course, more through the weekend. And we have got more this week. This is going to continue. I expect some heavier rainfall, especially today, especially once all that kind of shifts down to the south and east. Tomorrow, and then it kind of turns over to scattered showers, although Thursday could get interesting as well with some heavy rainfall coming in, kind of one little push of moisture coming through, one last little push of a storm system pushing through. But as we go through this week, we're also looking at lower snow levels too. So again, there's a lot to unpack here. So what do you say we get to Krueger's Quickcast? This, of course, as you know, for those of you that are new to this channel, I do Krueger's Quickcast just to kind of get you through hopefully the next few minutes so you can get out the door and head on out and get what you need, right? However, I do a deeper dive forecast after that, and it goes into great detail. Detail you're not going to get anywhere else. I promise you that much right now. All right, so let's get you to it. Of course, it is Monday, February 1st. Maybe you're enjoying that cup of coffee or tea or whatever it is. Yeah, we got Kimberly saying she's loving the rain. You're loving these temperatures too? Not too bad, right? Not too cold. Mid-50s for the valley, even some upper 50s. Cold in Alturas, though, at 33. But again, you think about where we were last week. Remember, in the single digits, teens, 20s. The overcast skies, the warm nature of this storm is keeping those temperatures up. However, the colder air has moved into the north. Wairika 33, Mount Shasta warmer at 35, even though Mount Shasta is a higher elevation. Why? Because the colder air hasn't made its way that far south just yet. And I say that because that will be changing. Let's get you out the door here this morning. Most of you will be dealing with wet conditions. Redding, showers. Chico, probably dry. Red Bluff, dry. Again, you saw the radar. That's all shifting to the south and east. Even the eastern mountains looking fairly dry at this point right now. So there you can see the storm, right? And I have this image showing because last week we had that big stream coming in from Hawaii, right? We don't have that anymore. Now, of course, we still have a storm system that is going to have some subtropical nature in it. That is the moisture and, of course, the warmer air. But up to the north of that is a spinning area of low pressure that has colder air that's associated with it. And that's going to help lower our snow levels. Now look at the winds out there this morning. Some of you may be saying, well, what about the winds? Well, here they are. We've got some pretty gusty winds for the valley. East of that as well. Not as bad, though, to the north and west. In fact, there's a wind advisory until 4 p.m. Tuesday. But I'll be honest with you, I'm a little confused as to why the Weather Service has issued it through tomorrow afternoon, because the winds will be dying down tomorrow. But I'll show you what we've got going on today. So you can see here, we're talking 20, 30 miles an hour. Not as bad to the north, but that will be changing here. The north end of the valley, that is. That'll be changing here as we get into the midday. 25, even 35 miles per hour. To the east, they're even stronger. And then, of course, in the north and west, you can see those winds are kind of gusting up there as well. Taking a look at this afternoon, still gusty in the valley, still gusty to the east, but not as bad to the north and west. But look at tomorrow morning. Yeah, the winds are starting to subside, and they'll continue to subside through the morning on Tuesday into Tuesday afternoon. So, again, most likely that wind advisory will be allowed to expire. Now, we're going to go into this in a lot more detail, what you're looking at here. We're going to talk about what a flood watch is, what a flood warning is, what the difference is between the two. We're also going to go into more detail on these green boxes, the shaded area of green, what all that means. But bottom line, and this is new, I just discovered this and saw this, we have a flood watch, including the coast as well. Again, some areas to kind of take into account here. Now, this, we're just going to go in detail about how much snow we expect, what the snow levels are doing, but this is basically, these maps, the winter weather advisories, warnings, all that, they change sometimes hour by hour. So I can show you this, I can put all the information in there, but then that will change. Bottom line, we've got snow in the forecast, and the snow levels are starting to drop as well. Let's take a look at the forecast road conditions, and I think it's doing a decent job, but the thing is, we've got chain requirements around Wairika right now. We've got chain requirements that actually have been lifted for Cedar Pass, so it's doing a pretty good job there. Take it to 5 p.m. today. Again, Cedar Pass up towards Wairika, eastern mountains above 5,000 feet. Tomorrow morning, I'm not anticipating chain requirements around Mount Shasta yet. But Wairika, yes. Cedar Pass, yes. Eastern mountains above 5,000 feet, yes. But Mount Shasta I-5, maybe even Highway 89, I think should be okay. That colder air is really not going to come down until around Wednesday, Thursday. Really Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday, and Thursday. But we'll take a closer look at that in the deeper dive forecast as well. And there you can see. You see where the colder air is? You can clearly see it. Look at the north end of Siskiyou County. You've got chain requirements on Highway 97, on I-5 near Wairika, Highway 3, but no chain requirements in Modoc County. Although earlier there were chain requirements on Cedar Pass, the conditions there have improved. Now take a look at central Wairika. Look at that. Snow is coming down. That's at 2,600 feet. Just under 3,000 feet Anderson grade, snow there. North Hilt at 3,300 feet approximately. Snow on I-5 to the north, right? But take a look at this. Let's head to the south. Dunsmuir, wet. I-5 at Highway 89 near Mount Shasta City, wet but not snowing. Snowman Summit, just under 4,500 feet, wet but no snow. So again, you look up to the north at lower snow levels there than they are here. Why? Because we're not seeing that colder air that's in place. This is something when I was on the ski lift with a new friend of mine, I was kind of discussing why it was raining at the ski park at a higher elevation, but why it was snowing up north, because that colder air has made its way to the north. And it's really just kind of staying there. It's not really shifting much more to the south anytime, at least in the next 24 hours. Now, unfortunately, you can't really see Mount Hebron or Doris, but most likely there's some snow on the highway there, as we do have those chain requirements. But things on Highway 299 West, Buckhorn, this is actually not on Buckhorn Summit, the camera that you see here. This is just below that. But Oregon Mountain looks wet. Berry Summit looks wet, but not snowing. 299 East, look at Cedar Pass, actually looks pretty good, 6,000 feet. This is the Four Corners in the middle there, and Hatchet Mountain. Again, I mean, any snow that there was on the side of the road is melted because it's all turned into rain. Bogard Ranger Station, wet, but not necessarily much in the way of snow there. And the snow at Laston Park on the side of the road, that's melted. Shingletown, of course, wet. So kind of interesting. We take a look at Chester, wet. See any snow that was there, that's melted. Same thing with Fredonia Summit. By the way, I want to remind you, there is a great resource for you. In fact, I'm going to take you to the website here. Let's go to Weather NorCal, not the mountain cameras, although maybe we'll do that here in a second. This is weathernorcal.com right here, right? What you do is you click on road conditions, and check this out. I love this. Number one, chain requirements. Click right there. Click on that map right there, and that'll take you to the chain requirements for Caltrans Quick Map. But look at this. What I've done is I've taken the more popular cameras, and you can at a quick glance see what the road conditions are like. And you can clearly see here, Wairika, snowing, Hilt Sandhouse, snowing, but I-5 near Mount Shasta City, no, it's not snowing. Again, we showed you that a little bit earlier. There's look at Highway 89 and 97, that is. Highway 299 West and 299 East. You can take a look at their conditions there. And by the way, you can check all this from your phone too. The free Weather NorCal app, all you got to do is click on road conditions, and you're going to be looking at all of this right here. It's awesome. I love this. This is so handy and so useful. I use it all the time. So it's just a really handy tool. Let's take a look at this. We're going to get in a nice little ad coming in from Mount Shasta.
Mount Shasta Resort.
Mount Shasta Resort.
When you come out to
Let's
play,
take a look at the camera and see if
place
it's snowing. I
stay.
actually never really checked. Doesn't look like we have any early precipitation going on there right now. And if it is precipitation, it's going to be in the form of rain, because otherwise we'd see the snowflakes, right? Maybe sleeting a little bit here, but there you go. That's what it looks like there. All right. So again, there's a look at the road conditions on weathernorcal.com. Be sure to check it out. All right, here's what we have for today. Temperatures in the upper 50s for the Valley, 57 degrees for Redding, 59 in Willows. How about the higher elevations? I mean, mainly above freezing, right? Because because again, it's this warmer air mass. You have to go above 5,000, 6,000 feet before you start really seeing that snow. Kind of interesting. So, I mean, think about what it was last week. It was so much colder, but also didn't have that warm air mass moving in. All right, so rain today, tomorrow for the Valley. Of course, it's dry to start off the day, but that'll turn over to showers later this afternoon. Showers on Wednesday, another push of some heavier rainfall possibly on Thursday, more showers on Friday, drying out by the weekend. Here's your coast. Yeah, off and on rain through Friday, same inland, Weaverville. Now look at Weaverville. I've got your snow levels, 2,500 feet Tuesday, 1,500 feet Wednesday, maybe a little bit higher. So Wednesday, Thursday is kind of the day that I think the days that Weaverville, Hayfork could possibly see snow, and not only snow, but maybe even some accumulating snow, light accumulating snow, not a ton. And then of course we've got that turning over to rain at 3,000 feet on Friday, and then drying out by the weekend. Same situation for many of the other mountain communities like Mount Shasta, Alturas, and Susanville. Rain today, but turning over to snow for all of these areas, Mount Shasta, Alturas, Susanville, by tomorrow, and then off and on snow for all of these areas through Friday before it dries out again. for the upcoming weekend, but cold. There's a look at the overcast skies we have in Oroville, but fairly dry there right now. We can kind of get a better perspective. You can actually see some breaks in the clouds as the sun is rising, but the winds are blowing a bit. So you can clearly see that here with the lake. Of course, you can see that streamer blown in the wind as well. If you look closely, looks like the camera might be blown a little bit in the wind there at Main Street Chico Highway 32, but it is on Highway 99 at Neal Road. So again, we've got those gusty winds out there this morning for some of us in the valley, and not to mention the eastern mountains as well. Highway 44 at Sundial Bridge Drive. Unfortunately, this is not a camera in motion, but you can see that traffic is flowing along just nicely. Good morning. Hey, how you doing? I have to click buttons. I have to be the technical guy here as well. But let's check in with some of you this morning. We've got some people saying they're loving the rain. I've got 3 mice here, all different computers, and I got to sometimes figure out which one is which. We've got Kimberly saying, "Hey, loving the rain." You know what? I am too. This is nice. Before I did Coffee with Krueger yesterday morning, I did a special edition yesterday morning. By the way, for those of you that are new to this channel, thank you so much for watching. I saw a big uptick in people watch the pre-recorded version of Coffee with Krueger. A big uptick. That was awesome. So thank you for checking it out. Yeah, I had a chance to just sit out there for a little bit and enjoy the sound of the rain. It's hard to do that in what I do for a living because I'm always thinking about how I can inform you and the best ways to inform you. But I just sat down, I just went into a little Zen mode and was able to relax a little bit here. Good morning from Shelly. She's saying, good morning, a little wet out here, but not too cold yet. Yeah, it'll be getting colder there in the next couple of days as that cold air begins to move in. Good morning to you, Shelly. Good morning, Robert, saying since Friday, 7.27 inches. Old Shasta, Lower Springs. Wow. It's a lot of rain, folks. We've been looking at a lot of rainfall out there. Thank you, Rob, for that report. I may miss an appointment Wednesday if the roads are snowy in Lewiston and Weaverville. We'll see. I wonder if I would be too concerned about it at this point. Kimberly, just keep it close on the forecast. I wonder if I should put up my trash can, as in the winds, because the winds are certainly pretty gusty out there. Mark, you're saying good morning. Sure, lots of wind down here in Corning. Yeah, we're seeing those gusty winds. We'll take a closer look at those here in a second. And we've got Brenna saying good morning from Shingletown, wet and very windy in Shingletown. Oh, fun, fun, fun. Don't we all love the wind? Ugh, oof. Such a nuisance. But hey, what do you do? What do you do but make lemons out of lemonade? Or make... It's Monday morning. Make lemonade out of lemons. What do you do with windy conditions? I don't know. Get a wind turbine and generate some electricity? I don't know. Get a kite? I'd fly a kite. Fun, fun. But there you go. So yeah, thanks for checking in, everybody, this morning. What do you say we get to the deeper dive forecast this morning? We got a lot to discuss. So let's get right into it. Of course, we need to remind you that Coffee with Krueger is sponsored by Wind River Resort and Casino. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. We love our sponsors. And you know why you got to love the sponsors? Because without them, Weather NorCal wouldn't exist. I can't do this for free, folks. I've got to pay the bills. So so I can give you this service for free thanks to all of our sponsors. Wind River and the Works, of course, our primary sponsor, Crown Motors, fantastic. All right, so here's what we got. Here's your radar. See where most of the rain is right now, and of course that snow. It's actually shifting northward. And the reason being is we've got low pressure kind of diving a little bit to the south, and it's causing this to kind of shift northward. However, as the main storm system responsible for this rainfall starts to kick off to the south and east, this will all move to the south and east as well. So eventually Redding, everybody will be looking at that rainfall. But it's a dry start for pretty much everyone else. And there's the colder air that's kind of cooling down, but still mainly in northern Siskiyou, Del Norte, and northern parts of Modoc County as well. But again, there you can see the dry conditions. Even most of Modoc, Lassen, Plumas, the valley, but all of this will be shifting eastward. You can see all the flood warnings. Again, we'll get into that here in a bit. Look at these rainfall totals. We saw this a little bit earlier, but just want to kind of show this again. Clearly see where the atmospheric river has been pointed over the weekend, right here since Friday. This is where most of the rain, as you can see, is clearly fallen, right? Ruth, 8.91 inches of rain. Now, you'll notice a little bullseye right here, some heavier rainfall. Not as much rain as the forecast models were predicting even on Friday or Thursday of last week down to the south and east, but still some good rain coming down in Quincy at 2.82. Again, this is the last 3 days, so this is since Friday. But there you can see 6.89 in Reading, but again, a bit of a shadowing down towards to the south here, even Chico. Oroville about 0.12. Wait, that's not right. I didn't update that. I think Oroville obviously saw more than that. That's not good. So yeah, I'll see if I can get that updated. Hey, by the way, this is flooding in Ingot. This was sent by Tim Moore. He also mentioned that there were some mudslides and debris flows in that area as well. You can see, I mean, some of the flooding that we're seeing there. By the way, I want to remind you, I want to see more. That was the only flooding image that I got from all of you, all right? So if you have any flooding pictures, do me a favor. It's very easy. Most likely you'll take one with your phone. You're going to take that with your phone, right? If you got the app on your Android or your iPhone, you can share that image very easily from the free Weather NorCal app. Be sure to include your name, where the image is taken, and if it's dealing with snow, what the elevation is, so we have an idea of how low those snow levels are. All right, take a look at the current conditions out there right now. It's actually pretty mild. Mid to even upper 50s for the valley right now, 30s up to the north. So again, where are we seeing the colder air? It's mainly right about here. It's extreme northern California, northern portions of Siskiyou, northern portions of Modoc, and even northern portions of Del Norte County, those cold temperatures. But you head to the south and those temperatures are warmer. So again, higher elevation but warmer, lower elevation but cooler. Usually those numbers should be flip-flopped. But we've got that colder air. That colder air will eventually shift southward for everybody, but it's just kind of remaining fairly stationary right now. It hasn't really moved much over the last 24 hours. Wet weather pattern continues through this week. Gusty winds at times, especially today, even into tomorrow. Cooler air moving in will lower those snow levels. Possible break by this wet weather by the weekend. So that's kind of what's going on here as we kind of look at the extended outlook through this week into the weekend. The winds right now, yes, some of you are experiencing gusty winds. Looks like this is the area where we're seeing most of those winds, but even southern Trinity County, parts of Trinity County seeing some of those gusty winds as well. Have to remember, but by the time I'm done with all this, it kind of slips my mind, but it's probably obviously not that windy in Etna. It's not 32 miles per hour. But there you can see the wind advisory for the area in blue here until 4 p.m. Tuesday. But when we look at futurecasts, I want to show you that most likely that advisory will be allowed to expire sooner than that. So there you can see as we take you to midday, 25, 35 miles per hour on average. We could see higher gusts for parts of the valley, very gusty off to the east, but obviously, you'll notice here to the north and west, doesn't look to be quite as bad. Now, by 5 p.m. today, still gusty for the valley eastward. We can see a main boundary right here, creating a bit of a convergence line that we have. That shifts down to the south and east. By 6 a.m. on Tuesday, see what's happening tomorrow morning? Still a little breezy, gusty out there, especially to the east, but not as bad everywhere else. And then taking you through the day on Tuesday, yeah, still a little breezy, but not that bad. Certainly not what we're seeing here today or will see today. And then much calmer winds, but still breezy Tuesday afternoon. But look at Wednesday. Be looking at more of a north wind, still that south wind. That was north wind for tomorrow. South wind here for tomorrow, and we're looking at about 20 mile per hour winds. So still breezy, even breezy along the coast here, but I think the main event for the winds will be today. A lot of winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings. Listen, I could sit here. The thing is, all of them are coming in from different weather forecast offices. It's going to talk about different snow levels. It's going to talk about how much snow is coming out of these, how long they're lasting. That's a lot of information to put on this map. But bottom line, when we look at this map, the National Weather Service is basically saying, hey, we've got snow out there and some lower elevation snow as well. Now, the thing is, before I really start putting a lot of energy and effort into how much snow we're going to see over the next 3 days, I'm going to wait for another couple of runs of the forecast model. So by tomorrow, I'll probably start kind of incorporating some of my own thoughts on these and putting my own numbers in here. But for now, we're going straight off the numbers. I think we could see a little bit more in Mount Shasta. That might be overdoing it here. Etna, sure. I think we might see the potential for a dusting, maybe an inch or two for parts of Weaverville and Hayfork through Wednesday. There you can see, of course, off to the east, I think that might be overdoing it for Fall River Mills, but still the potential for some accumulating snow. I think Chester could see some more out of this, as well as Susanville, Quincy, and Portola. So once again, we've got to kind of figure out what's going on with some of these numbers, but bottom line, yeah, this is the first time in a while I think we can talk about the potential for snow in Weaverville, Hayfork, maybe even Hoopa getting in on some of that snow as well. So looking at the chain requirements this morning, once again, we're talking about where that colder air is. Northern Siskiyou County is where we have the chain requirements, at least here in Northern California. You head to the south, closer to the Tahoe region, there are some chain requirements there. But looking at the latest of the forecast road conditions, I still think we're going to see chain requirements around Wairika, but not necessarily around Mount Shasta or even Highway 89. Highway 299 and 36 look to be okay. Maybe some chain requirements east of I-5, but you have to go up pretty high in elevation, about 5,000 feet before you start running into some issues. Even tomorrow morning, Cedar Pass looking at that potential. So once again, I think it might be overdoing it here, but latest forecast model now actually kind of more in line with that, with what I was thinking. This was showing blue near Mount Shasta City. Now it's showing kind of a red, kind of a mix in there as well. So I'm not anticipating the issues, at least for chain requirements, until probably sometime around Tuesday afternoon, and especially into Wednesday as that colder air really starts to filter in. By the way, the road conditions can change at a moment's notice, and there's a really easy resource for you. Go to weathernorcal.com, scroll down, click on road conditions. Now from there, when you click that, you scroll down and you can at a glance see I-5, quick glance at road conditions. You can see all of the more popular cameras. So again, you can see Central Wairika, Hilt Sandhouse. This was just an image taken a few minutes ago, and of course at Fondale. But you can kind of scroll down, and there you go. You got all that. Just go to weathernorcal.com. You can also do it from your phone. You can also get the same information from the free Weather NorCal app. So here's what we've got. Again, see this area of low pressure shifting to the east. This is kind of the tilt of the system that's moving in. So it's pretty much pointed at northwestern California. Drier conditions for the valley right now, but that as this shifts to the east, we see that all move down to the south and east, and everybody sees that rain. Area of low pressure to our north and west, that area of low pressure is going to be responsible for lowering those snow levels. You can clearly see of course, the speckled clouds. That's the colder air. This is all going to be diving southward. Now, here's the thing. This is not going to be diving down directly right on top of us, but more along the lines of moving down to the south and east. But as it does that, as this all shifts southward, the colder air will shift southward as well, and we'll eventually get in on that. But right now, we still have a warm subtropical air mass aimed right at Northern California, that fire hose, if you will, right? The Pineapple Express, atmospheric river. That, as this area of low pressure shifts to the south, it'll kind of push that to the south as well. That's tomorrow morning. Still some rain, still some snow in the higher elevations. That atmospheric river no longer is really in existence. And what we're looking at here by Wednesday is colder air coming down to the south. Now, the thing is, this area of low pressure itself doesn't have a lot of moisture to work with. But look at this right here. You see this area of low pressure, kind of a disturbance. There's moisture embedded in that as well. So we've got this area of moisture that this area of low pressure, the flow around that low is going to tap into that moisture. Look what happens. Look at that, just flare up with snow and rain. So we've got that one last push on Thursday with some decent rainfall and decent snow for some of the higher elevations. So remember, we were talking about Wednesday. You know, we've got those lower snow levels kind of coming down. I'll probably be adjusting those snow levels even going into Thursday as well. But then that colder air moves off to the east. Things dry out by the time we get into Saturday, Sunday. This system looks like it's going to approach on Monday of next week, but as of right now, it doesn't look like it's going to hold on to much of its energy. So we're finally getting a break from all this wet weather by the weekend. So let's take a closer look at everything here and show you what we've got going on here for the next 3 days. Okay, so again, we're fairly dry conditions for Redding southward. Most of the rain is to the north and west, and of course that's snow. Let's take you into the midday today. Now we're still seeing some of that heavy snow. Where's the colder air? It's still up to the north, but now we're starting to see some of the showers push to the south. The main band of moisture right here, right? This is that main fire hose, the main Pineapple Express, atmospheric river, but we are seeing some of that spill over as far as some of the moisture down to the south. Now it's all pointed right about here. See how it's shifting to the south and east? That's important to take note because as that does, our chances for rain will diminish by around midweek. Okay, so there you can see some of the rain. We're still seeing that snow. Snow level's still really not lowering a whole lot even as we go into this afternoon and evening. Now by tonight, by tomorrow morning, I've got those snow levels down to 2,000 to 3,000 feet. So places like Mount Shasta by Tuesday morning, yes, I think you could possibly be looking at some snow. Alturas, Wairika. You see how we're seeing a bit of a break though from the wet weather for the coast, heavier rainfall for the rest of us, and of course that snow in the mountains. Now, look at the coast. We're not really seeing much in the way of rain for Tuesday. Most of that shifts to the south and east. And you see what's happening? You see how this is all shifting south and east? That again is because this area of low pressure to our north, as it dives to the south, is going to push that atmospheric river down to the south, and we're going to lose our source of moisture for the rain that we've been seeing here for the last several days. But we still have that snow there. You still have got the rain down to the south and east, even for the valley. Now, by Wednesday, that area of low pressure, you see how it's all kind of spinning. So yes, our snow levels are lowering on Wednesday, but look how insignificant the amount of rain and snow is. You can see here, it's just going to be some light snow flurries, some showers, maybe even an isolated thunderstorm here for the coast and maybe even parts of the valley. Now it does pick up a little bit intensity with some of these snow flurries here, but again, keep in mind, this storm system, the area of low pressure, is not tapping into a lot of moisture and doesn't have a lot of moisture to work with, so anything we do see is not going to be all that significant. With the exception of, should a brief thunderstorm develop, that could also bring some heavier rainfall for the coast and maybe even in the valley as well. So once again, yes, low snow levels, colder air moving in, just not a ton of precipitation at this point. Again, you saw that earlier. It's Thursday. We got a rush of some moisture coming in, colder air in place, snow levels still fairly low, and that's when I think we could see more significant snow for some of the lower mountain communities by Thursday of this week. This is a look at the flash flood risk. The yellows are areas where we do have a higher potential for that here. So let's take a look at, first of all, before we go into the flood watches and warnings, I do want to remind you the difference between the two. This is important for you to remember because I was on social media over the weekend like I am all the time, right? There was a local source in Redding that had mentioned on, I think it was Saturday, because there were no flood warnings at that point. It was kind of the first part of the day. It was said right there on the headline, it said flood warning. There were no flood warnings at that point in time. It was just a flood watch that was issued for the area. That's a big difference, and I'm going to show you why that's a big difference and why you need to know and understand that the source you're getting your weather information from is viable and knows what they're talking about and what they're doing, okay? Even local sources, you may think you trust them, you may think you know what they're talking about, but if they don't specialize in weather, they're going to make mistakes. I'm going to make mistakes, however, not something like this. All right, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So a flash flood watch, or even a flood watch for that matter, is what that's saying is conditions are favorable for flooding. Be prepared. If you live in an area that typically sees flooding, just keep a close eye on the forecast, keep a close eye on the rivers, creeks, streams, even the areas that typically see flooding. But a flood warning or a flash flood warning is saying, hey, conditions are, it's happening pretty much as we speak. And that's when you need to take action now, okay? And it says it's imminent. That's basically meaning it's about to happen, or it's happening at the current time. So big difference. Not happening right now. Conditions are prime for flooding, but it may not even flood. It just depends on how much rain you end up getting. This is saying it's happening. You need to be aware of that. All right, so that's the difference between the two. Now, what do you do if you come across a road that's flooded? Well, here's the thing. You may be in this big SUV or a big truck and go, I can do whatever I want because I've got a big old car, right? No, No, and I'm going to tell you why. Because 12 inches of water, okay, that can sweep away a car or an SUV. Yes, a big SUV can be swept away by water. A bigger vehicle, say, say a delivery truck or whatnot, right? 18 inches of water can sweep that away as well. So my general rule of thumb is if you can't see the road through the water, just not a good idea, because you don't know how deep that water gets, where it's going, and it's just not a good idea. Turn around, don't drown. You've seen that phrase many times. All right, so now that you know what a flood watch is, what a flood warning is, here's the flood watch. Conditions are favorable for flooding, but it may not necessarily be the case for everyone. Now, there was a flood warning earlier, and there was flooding in Redding area yesterday, but that flood warning has been allowed to expire at this point. But there is a flood warning for Tehama County at the Tehama Bridge. Now, notice it says it expires Sunday, 3:22 a.m. That's when it was supposed to expire, but it hasn't yet, actually. And in fact, they haven't put a time on it now. They're just saying until further notice. Now, there's a reason for that. Let's take a look at this. Right now, it's flooding, okay? And it's expected to stay in the minor flood stage. Look at this. For the next several days. It's not until Wednesday morning that it finally starts to drop. But you see how it drops on Thursday? Remember we were talking about that next batch of rain coming in on Thursday? That may cause it to rise again. We could get into the action stage. It may even reach back into the minor flood stage as well. Okay? But this is something you got to watch. But this is not expected to recede until later this week. Now, we take a look at some other areas where we've got a flood warning for all of these areas right here. This whole area for Siskiyou and into Modoc County until 10 p.m. Tuesday. Also want to point out there's a flood warning for the Canby area. Why? Because this is through 4 p.m. Friday. Why? Because look at this. This is Pitt River near Canby. Right now it's not flooding, but it's expected to rise rapidly once we go into this evening, tonight, tomorrow. And there you can see it stays in that flood stage all the way through the end of the week. So even though the rain is going to start to really taper off by the end of the week and even this weekend, it's going to take a while for that to recede. We also have a flood warning for northwestern Lassen County in effect until 12 p.m. Thursday. We have a flood advisory, as you can see here, for Lassen and eastern Plumas County until 4 p.m. Tuesday. Let's take a look at the Susan River at Susanville. It was in the flood stage, but now as we speak, it is receding and conditions are improving there. But looking at the river levels right now, orange dots indicating it's in the minor flood stage. Action basically means it's approaching minor. It may not reach minor flood stage, but it's really showing signs of swelling up. So you can see that along the Sacramento River here. You can see, again, it's receding out at Susan River. All right, so again, I want to show you, even though it's not flooding right now, I want to show you Eel River at Fern Bridge. This is on the coast here near Eureka. There you can see we're up at 20.8 or 21.1 that is. So it's not quite reaching the moderate, but it is going to reach that minor flood stage here, and then we'll recede after that once we get into Wednesday. That's going to be on Tuesday, so we've still got some time to prepare for that. Now look at the rainfall totals. On top of what we've already seen, we're going to see anywhere from 1 to even close to 4 inches of rain, less in the central parts of the valley, more to the north, more to the east here. But once again, same situation. Yes, you're seeing the rain now, but you're going to see much less rainfall through the day tomorrow and even Wednesday for the coast. Near normal rainfall. Yes, we're getting out of the wetter than normal conditions here, but this is going toward the end of the week and into the weekend. So the next 7 to 10 days is what we're looking at here. So we're starting to see this wet weather pattern eventually move out by this weekend. There you can see the wave heights for today, a little on the high side, but they will start to drop going into your Tuesday. All right, let's take a look at your marine forecast. And there you can see north winds at 15 to 20 knots, waves from the north at 4 feet at 5 seconds, and from the southwest, that is, 4 feet at about 9 seconds. And of course, we've got those rain showers out there as well, but no small craft advisories. All right, here's your neighborhood by neighborhood forecast. Starting off with Trinity County, and you can see along Highway 299, temperatures in the upper 40s. Now again, notice the snow levels. 2,500, 1,500, 2,000. So this, I'd say around Wednesday, chance for snow. Thursday as well, maybe some heavier snow. We'll see what those snow levels are doing at that point. That I may have to lower that. We'll see. And then on Friday, there you can see the snow levels rising, and then we're dry for the weekend. Same situation, we'll take the same snow levels that we do have for southern Trinity County, but there you can see 45 today in Peanut, of course, the showers, and 46 degrees for Wildwood. All right, for the North Coast, we're going to take you down to southern Humboldt County. Temperatures in the 40s there, although Garberville about 50, Honeydew about 44. You've got the showers today, showers off and on through the rest of the week. 44 degrees in Ferndale and Fortuna, 43 in Hydesville and Rio Dell, about 41 degrees. And taking you up to the north, 44 degrees McKinleyville, Blue Lake, 42 degrees in Willow Creek, and 40 in Hoopa. Let's take you up to the north. 36 degrees for Gas Key, 40 for Orleans, 41 degrees for Orick, and there is a look at Smith River at about 45 degrees, off and on rain through Friday. All right, there's a look at Siskiyou County on Highway 96. You're looking at those temperatures somewhere in the upper 30s to low 40s today. Snow levels down to about 2,000 feet Wednesday, Thursday, 2,500 feet by Friday. So some of those lower snow levels. Scott Valley, same snow levels there for the next, as we go through the week. Temperatures are going to be in the mid 30s for Greenview and Etna, upper 30s today out towards Fort Jones. Central eastern Siskiyou County. So there you can see McDowell about 36, 41 degrees for Mount Shasta. Mount Shasta, rain, right? But down to snow. Off and on snow Tuesday through Friday for Mount Shasta, and then eventually turning over to drier conditions over the weekend. Your Modoc County neighborhood forecast. El Turris, rain today, turning over to snow tonight. Off and on snow through Friday, and then of course also drying out over the weekend. Everyone, all of Northern California drying out for the weekend. At least that's what it looks like for now. I'm seeing some signs that maybe Saturday could be a little iffy, but we'll see. Here's your eastern mountains, Bernie. All right, so Bernie, how about snow for you? Not today, it's all rain, but by tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe even Friday, you're looking at a chance for some snow there. All right, so we'll have to keep watching that closely. 48 degrees in Shingletown today. Take you out towards Laston Park, Lake Almanor. Look at the snow levels there, kind of the same situation, right? We're down to about 2,500 feet for Wednesday, Thursday, 3,500 feet by Friday. Here's your eastern mountains to the south, Paradise. Now Paradise, look at that. Here's the thing. Colder air on Wednesday. We're going to have to watch Thursday as well. All right, so stay tuned as we get closer to Thursday, because Paradise, it's not out of the question for you to maybe see some snow on Thursday, quite honestly. But the snow levels, you know, they're staying fairly low. That colder air is moving in, and it's dry by the weekend. Here's your Valley Neighborhood Forecast brought to you by Walgamith Painting. Your temperatures today are going to be in the upper 50s. Starting off dry, but don't let that fool you, because it will eventually turn back over to wet conditions here this morning and afternoon. What? Groundhog Day. I forgot to take that graphic out. Oh, shoot. But all right, take that out. That's not even there. That's not even the thing. I didn't really focus a whole lot on Groundhog Day. Why? Because I'm not a big fan of Groundhog Day. Number one, I just put it in there because that's weather, but I don't pay attention to it, honestly. It's because it's just folklore, folks. It's not a real forecast. All right, anyway, through Friday, we've got that off and on rain, and then dry for the weekend. Here's your Valley Neighborhood Forecast to the north, also brought to you by Walgamith Painting. 54 degrees for the city of Shasta Lake, 51 degrees for Whiskey Town and Red Bluff. I have a feeling we're going to see a groundhog in there for 7-day forecast in Redding too. Ugh, there it is. All right, let's get rid of it. It bugs me. I'm a perfectionist, and when I see stuff like that, it just bugs me. All right, let's get that out of there. See ya. Bye-bye. Nope, no longer. But yes, there it is. You can see. Let's take another look at that 7-day forecast for Redding. Once again, we're looking at the rain today, tomorrow, eventually, right? It's fairly dry right now, but that'll kind of shift down to the south and east today. Off and on rain really through Friday. Windy today, by the way, too. And then, of course, you've got the dry conditions here. At least that's what it's looking like right now for the weekend. What do you think? Whew, there's a lot going on there. Okay. We got Lynn Jones saying it's still raining in West Redding. Doesn't surprise me. Right now, Redding is kind of in that very southern fringe of where the rain is. That's eventually going to be making its way. Let's see, did I put that? Yeah, Lynn Jones saying that. So thank you, Lynn, for that report. I certainly appreciate that. Looks like we've got Rowdy saying, I'm having my honey lemon water with my lemons. Oh, good. I love that. I've done that. I was doing that when I was kind of not feeling so great. My throat was kind of scratchy. That helped. I really enjoyed that. That was good. And it was delicious too. Kind of the hot water with lemon and honey. It's nice. I like it. Let's see here. See my comment about rain 7 miles west of Red Bluff. Microclimate? Do I see your comment anywhere about it? Oh, here we go. Oh, 1.91. What do we get in Red Bluff? I forgot. I've got so many numbers, folks. So, you know, I wish I could remember it all. Let's take a look. Man, there's so many maps. So much going on. So much. 1.05. Here's what I'd say. You're 7 miles west of Red Bluff. Doesn't surprise me because as you're closer to the east side of the mountains, you're actually going to see more rainfall. It's the shadowing is going to be a little bit more pronounced the farther away you get from those mountains, from the West Mountains. So, but absolutely, microclimate is a word to use for that. Absolutely. That's what you're asking. All right, good. Who else we got here? You're probably right. Is that total absolutely is that total for Klamath is absolutely incorrect? You're probably right. I'm going to show you my source. And I can only go off of the sources I have, folks. I have no other information. So Helen, I apologize. Maybe I'll stop reporting for Klamath in general because I unless I have a reliable source, I can't give any kind of reports. I've had people ask me, hey, is there anything you can do? Can you give me some more, like, for example, climate data that goes back in history? There's not a lot of great resources for that, especially in a lot of these rural areas. Weaverville, for example, I don't have a reliable source to go back in history and say, oh, here we can compare climate 20, 30 years ago compared to now. We can't do that because I don't have a reliable source for that. So I feel bad. The thing is I'm showing all of these totals for some areas and I can't for others because there's just no reliable information. That's the bottom line. So Helen, again, I apologize for that. I'm going to show you the source that I use. I'm going to pull this up here. Climate. Let's go in here. So this is actually coming in from the National Weather Service, and they've got several different. There it is. So let's pull this up. So I'm looking at the last 3 days. I'm going to pull that up, and I'll show you the map. And I'm going to take you into Klamath. So before I, because I'm having to adjust everything. All right, so there's what we got for Klamath. I'm going to show you this map right now. Take a look. That's Klamath. That's the rain gauge that's coming in from the National Weather Service. Now, that's just outside of town of Klamath, but there is no rain gauge for the town of Klamath. So I can't sit here and go right there in the center of town, here's how much rain you saw, because you see that? There's nothing there. It's to the east of that. That's where there's a rain gauge. So again, how accurate is it? I don't know. Because you go up to Crescent City, it's 1.19 on the coast there, and a little bit more inland, different weather station, 1.53. So again, Helen, you're probably right. It could be incorrect. I don't know. There have been other times, though, it seemed like it was kind of on spots. It's hard to say. Maybe there was one little spot there that it just didn't see any rain in that part of Klamath, but other parts of Klamath did. But I wouldn't know that for sure because I don't have the records to show it. All right, so there you go. I'm off my little soapbox there. Okay, right, there you go. All right, so I just saw your post here. It says, my station is showing 4.16 since the storm started. So Helen, that's awesome. That's good to know. That makes sense, honestly. Because when I saw that, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. But do I report it? Do I not report it? And then upset people in Klamath? I don't know. I guess either way you look at it, if it's wrong, it's going to upset people. So again, my information is only as good as the information that I'm given. That's the bottom line. As far as like when we're talking current temperatures and all that stuff. So Helen, thank you. Thank you for your report. By the way, there are a couple of storm spotters that they're certified by the National Weather Service that have expressed interest in becoming a storm spotter for me as well, giving all the information that they have. I did talk to a buddy of mine who has those, who's doing the same thing I am in East Tennessee. He's got a a whole setup where there's one particular location just for his TV, for his weather station, that is kind of like mine, that those people who are certified by the National Weather Service can get that information. So I'm still working on that, still working on some of the details, but we'll certainly kind of set that up here in the weeks, if not in the months to come. Catherine Schmidt saying, "Oh, Mike, I so count on the groundhog." No, I don't. I don't know why I speak. I mean, it's a thing like in the Pennsylvania. And then of course the United States picks up on it, and it's just, I don't know. It just never really was a big thing for me. I never really got into it. Someone posted they hope the groundhog can swim. Yeah, that's sure. Although I don't even know if we really have groundhogs around here. I think the closest thing to a groundhog would be like a porcupine. And of course we got thank you, see you tomorrow. So Deanna must be gone at this point. Then we got Brenna saying, thank you again, Mike, for all your news and weather report. You mean so much for us from Shingletown, reporting you so much in the mountains, communities. Thank you. You are incredible. Well, thank you, Brenna. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate when you out there express your gratitude, because it is a lot of work. This was not an easy decision to make, to leave television and leave a job that gave me a consistent paycheck every 2 weeks. That was a tough choice. But seeing what's going on in the TV industry, it's not good, folks. It's not good at all. And I had to get proactive. I had to get ahead of the curve here. What about a ground squirrel? Debbie says, well, maybe we could use a ground squirrel. I think anything that sees a shadow. What about me? I could go out and see my shadow and then say, oh, it's going to rain for 6 more weeks. I don't know. Okay. Well, we're getting close on, wow, this was a long weather forecast. There you go. Remember, for those of you who are new to this and you're like checking in, like, well, what's going on? Did I just miss your whole forecast? Yes, you missed the live portion of it. However, let me take you to weathernorcal.com. Let's do that. And I'm going to show you right here. See that right there, right below that live 24-hour streaming channel? It says Coffee with Krueger, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Click on it, and it will have the latest forecast. Now, I did a special edition yesterday of Coffee with Krueger on Sunday. Let me tell you, I was really happy to see the number of people that watched that recording. I'd never seen that many people watch before, so that was good. But I want to remind you that all you have to do is go there. You can also get this from the free Weather NorCal app. Go to the same section where it says Coffee with Krueger, or you can go to the YouTube channel. Let's see if YouTube pops up the proper account. Yes, it does. So you go to Home, History, Home. No, we want to go to my channel. Where's my channel? History, Playlist, Your Videos. There we go. Actually, you can go in there. You can also go to a playlist. And the playlist has the latest forecast in there. So there you go. What? Okay, anyway, you'll find this is because it's my account, so it's showing you in a different form. Let's do it that way. There we go. So there you are. You're looking at it like I'm looking at it like you all would be looking at. There's the live channel at the very top, so you can always watch that at any time. Then you'll see here that you can go to playlists. You'll see a playlist that says, where is it? Coffee with Krueger, right there. I just wanted to kind of show you that, and a little side note, all that good stuff. Let's take a look at the latest out at. We're going to take a look at the camera here. This is looking out at Elk Country, north of Trinidad. Well, yeah, there you go. That's what it looks like right now at the ski park. No snow. Doesn't look like it's raining either, so that's good. LaDonna saying, oh, I've been watching Coffee with Krueger. Debbie saying, have a marvelous Monday, guys. There you go. All right, good stuff. But yeah, you can see it's not really snowing there. So what do you say we wrap up the show? It is 7:55 in the morning. I got to get ready to take my son to school here. I got to get him off to school. So, you all have yourselves a great day. And we will see you again tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Until then, have a great day and make it a great day. And enjoy the rain. Enjoy the snow if you're in the higher elevations. But you're probably not going to enjoy the wind. See you later.